my last video, I talked about the 3 things that you need to incorporate in your social media strategy in order to be successful when you're posting. One of those things I'm going to be talking about today, and that is your lead generator and the power of what that is. And what a lead generator is in social media marketing is a free yet valuable asset that you offer to your potential clients as a way of building authority and trust. Lead generators are also a key way to capture potential customers' emails. So then you can continue to guide them along their journey to buying your product. Giving something away for free is a loyalty builder. You need a way to connect with your customers, and in order to do that, you need to get their emails, and they are willing to give it to you in order to access this lead generator. A lead generator is a free asset that you offer to potential clients. Remember, it's always free, and that's how you build authority and trust in your industry. It could be a free PDF, video series, a free sample, a live event, or anything that really helps your customers solve a problem in some way. I personally usually start with a downloadable PDF that I create in Canva. And lead generators should always be available. You create it one time and then you just leave it on your website for people to access whenever you need it. A year from now, they could still be using it. The tactics I'm going to be talking about today can be found in the Marketing Made Simple book by Donald Miller and Dr. J.J. Peterson. They explain the power of story way better than anybody I've ever heard, and I personally really love him. In fact, everything I'm talking about today is going to incorporate what they teach in this book. So you should definitely get a copy. I linked a description of it below, but they go into much more detail. Okay, so the 6 things that you need in order to have a successful lead generator are: 1, you need to position yourself as the guide, demonstrating authority and empathy. In my opinion, this part really stems from your one-liner or your elevator pitch, so to speak. How is your product or your service going to make your customers' lives better? Marketing is not about you, and it should never be about you. And once it becomes about you, then you're gonna lose. So if you're asking, well, how do I build authority if I can't brag about my business and brag about myself? Again, it really comes down to the copy in your ads, the messaging that you're trying to portray. What sounds better? I'm gonna give you an example. A, we provide tips that will keep your HVAC working. We're here for you in case of an emergency. Click here to learn more. Or B, tips to keep your family warm and prevent your pipes from freezing this winter. Get the PDF. You guessed it, B. Why? Well, because B structures the homeowner as the hero. When creating a lead generator PDF that shows authority and empathy, you need to constantly revert back to how will this PDF make my customers' lives better. Example A is all about you and how great you are at providing tips. It doesn't really serve a purpose for your customer. And answer B, again, is making them the hero. So, as always, whenever you're creating your lead generators, ask yourself, does this structure my customer, my client, my lead, my follower as the hero of their own story? Am I going to solve their problem? So that's the first one. And the second great lead generator that you should incorporate is to stake your claim in your territory, in your industry. Talk about how your expertise benefits your customers that solves their problem. It's okay to talk about your expertise here, and it does not make you the hero here. In fact, it still structures you as the guide. For example, if you own an Etsy shop and you're selling earrings, you could say something like, earrings used to give me headaches, but that's why I designed this earring so that way it doesn't. Now 40,000 of my customers don't have to deal with what I used to deal with. Again, you're helping your other customers because you also had this problem. This is just an example, but remember to always structure it towards your niche. What are you better than your competitor at? Do you have a degree? Do you have a certification? How many years of experience do you have in the industry? I really feel like this is an amazing place for you to brag about yourself where it's okay. The third great lead generator option is to qualify your audience. Remember who you're speaking to. Your lead generator should speak to a specific audience. For example, if you're doing advertising for a plumbing company, you wouldn't say something like, plumbing tips for kids. That really doesn't make sense because why would kids care about plumbing? They probably wouldn't. Instead, you should probably structure it as if you're saying 3 tips to help keep your plumbing safe from your kids. You're talking to the homeowner about their kids, or 3 ways to child-proof your plumbing to prevent clogging. I don't know. I just know that my nephews shove toys down the toilet. But that's not the point. The point is to remember who you are talking to. And the fourth great lead generator that you should really incorporate is to create trust by solving a problem. It's okay to create a problem because sometimes customers don't know what their problem is. So to piggyback off of my last example, you could say something like, do your kids shove toys down their toilet to ruin your plumbing? Don't let your plumbing get ruined by your kids' toys. Download the PDF on tips to protect your plumbing from your kids. I personally tend to use this version of lead generator more in my PDFs just because I always think of the problem that I'm trying to solve more than anything else, and I think it's the easiest, so I like to start there. The fifth great lead generator you should incorporate is to offer some value. Give away some free content. Dr. J.J. Peterson does talk about in his book and in his podcast that customers feel indebted to you and your brand when they take something for free, even if they don't realize it. And the sixth lead generator that you should incorporate is have an interesting title. When you create content, or when I create content for my batch days, I usually start with numbers. I like to say something like 3 ways to, 5 tips for, 3 mistakes, the number 1 mistake, any hooks to really capture your lead's attention. I also like to say foolproof ways, or why this or why that. So there are so many ways that you can start a hook in your ads that we often forget the basics. Even I have a refer cheat sheet that I like to go back to when I start creating my titles, and I'm not going to gatekeep this from you. In fact, I'm going to offer it to you for free. In the description below, you can download my personal cheat sheet that I use when I create content. And it's generic, so you can build off of it with your niche. And I have little descriptions of where you can like plug and play your niche in that. So please feel free to download that PDF. See what I did there? If you want to learn more about lead generators I talked about today, again, you can listen to the podcast or you can read the book. I'm going to tag the descriptions below and the links below so that way you can access them. I absolutely love them. I've read them and I recommend the books. So thanks so much for watching. That's it for today. And again, if you really like this, please like, subscribe, interact, comment, share, whatever. It really does help me out. My name's Priscilla, and this is the Juniper Creative, and I will see you next time.